My name is Aisha S1. I am a first-generation Pakistani Canadian, a single mom of 3 kids, and a recent university grad. Between my medical challenges, trying to start a new career, and welcoming my mother into my home, I have spent a lot of time navigating the ups and downs of life. It is through the vulnerable conversations I have had with my friends and family that I have come to realize the importance of compassion to get through life's challenges. I invite you to join the conversation, laugh with us, share with us, and realize the one truth that unites us. We may think we are alone in our struggles, but together, one conversation leads to the next. And this is where we find hope, humor, and healing on the Gen Xperience with Aisha. Today we're talking about the challenge of finding love after the first divorce, I guess you could say. And whether that's online or whether that's in person, it is such a difficult feat. And I think the one conversation that I have with everybody that I sit with, I don't care who or which friend or what gender, doesn't matter. It's always, why is it so hard to find someone? Why is it so difficult to find love? Why is this such a challenge when you have dating apps and you have other ways of finding people or just meeting people organically? So I think the first question that I want to put out is, do you guys think, because this was the last generation before the internet came, so we remember what it was like without phones, without online dating, without apps. Do you guys think that it was easier back then to find someone, or do you think it's easier now?
10 years ago when online first came on, I think I would have said it was better. But 10 years now, it feels like it's, as much as they say they want you to meet someone, I think it's more about keeping you on them than anything.
Are you saying that that's your perspective from the male perspective to the females, that they're just trying to, you know, from your experience, that they're just trying to keep this going?
The machine that is Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, all of them, they're trying to make their money off of this side of the table, because we're the ones that pay for the piece, because I don't think the women go through the same thing that men do when it comes to online.
Yeah, but they can't dictate how you guys communicate. So if you and I are communicating, and let's say I'm saying, you know, oh, you say, hey, do you want to meet? And I say, oh, hold on a second, can we meet some other time? And then you ask again. That's not the dating app. I think it's the human connection that's the challenge, whether it's women feeling insecure because they have to put filter after filter after filter. No. Or that's what I hear from the ladies is that there's an insecurity, so there's the filter challenge. Or the challenge with the guys in terms of what the women's complaints are is they don't show up and they go way too fast. They go from A to Z without knowing more of the substance of the person inside. You know what I mean? Yeah. So do you find that that's a challenge?
Yeah, so I have not tried being on a dating app.
Yeah.
I've never tried it at all. And what I understand though from talking to my friends and everyone who's used it is that, and my assessment of the whole thing is the digital era, the era we're in right now, has made it so easy to meet people, but has rendered it virtually impossible to meet a person. Mm-hmm. Just like what Joshua said, to make the connection is very difficult, because back to your question on was it easier back then when we used to meet people on the street? I don't think it was easier, but it made us treasure what we met.
So, may I just jump on that? Because sure. I spent the last year, the last 9 months, I didn't touch an app. I was like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to go out. And I met someone on a hike. I met someone in a park. I met someone at a grocery store. I met someone in a mall. And because I don't really that's not an issue for me. And once I read the stat that 80% of men or 93% of men were scared to do it, I was like, this is a big advantage for me. So then I go out and because I have the ability to go and do that. Yeah. And exactly what you're saying is that with that amount of effort I put into it, I'm going to double down. There's not 15 waiting in the wings for me to swipe onto and go, wow, I didn't like how this one sounded, or this one kind of got snipped. I went, I'm going to put a little more time and effort, because it takes a lot to get up and go up and say, hi, my name is Josh. I would like to, you know what I mean? I think that's a great point.
But the difference is that 10 years ago or prior to dating apps, all those women you spoke to didn't have the opportunity to go home, get on the app. So
You're right there too.
so giving the chance to an individual to actually get to know them, because you don't have 5 guys you're texting on the side. This is the person that you're giving an opportunity to get to know. And so their flaws aren't so, I mean, they don't have to be perfect. You know, you get to know the person and you connect, and you don't have anybody else on the side.
Maybe Cam can speak to this too, because I've met women that I've seen on them off and on for 2 or 3 years. But I've also met women on an app that I've met that I know is like newly out of a divorce, and maybe this is their first time on the app. When it's their first time on the apps, they're much more, what's the word I'm looking for? But to make a connection and try a little harder.
Right.
Yeah, but after a year of them being on the apps, and they know they're just like, oh, this guy, this guy, you know what I mean? And
It becomes a game.
Yeah, it becomes a game.
Yeah.
And I think it feeds ego a lot of the time. Because I remember when I first got divorced and I went on this app the first time, and I was like, is it this easy? Because you just put up some pictures, a bunch of swipes, you start chatting with someone, and oh, I'm divorced, but look at, there's these 30 women that are in this inbox, or 100 women, or whatever it's going to be. And that kind of gives you that little hit of dopamine. But I think that it's the beginning. When you're fresh on, it's more like we just met. But when you've had some time under tension and you've been ghosted and you've been through things, and you know there's another laundry list of men and waiting in the app for you, you kind of don't put as much effort in.
Cam, what's your thought?
That's the challenge. That's my challenge with that is 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have the internet or meeting people online. So you met people very organically. And I think a lot of us, you just meet somebody within a few minutes, if they're, who cares what's on paper? Do you have that chemistry? Do you have that spark? What you said, Josh, what you said, Celeste, like the people are talking to 35 people at the same time. I want you to talk to me, not 35 people. It's not a cattle auction, right? But if you could focus and talk to one person, yay or nay in a very short period of time. But if people are talking to you, texting them, where's the focus? And then it's just an ego feed, like what you said.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I feel awesome. Look at all these chicks
look at all these.
messaging me. Oh, I love it. I don't like your answer. I'm going to talk to her for a few more minutes. But you're not really finding a partner there.
That's it.
I did it last night because I went back on the looking out, and I was like, all right, oh, you don't want to.
No, but so what prompted you to go back to the apps? Because you just said that you were like,
I did 9 months away, and I was sitting there, I was like, what was I watching? Someone, Jason, I keep going back to a friend of mine who met his woman, his now a soon-to-be wife, or I don't know where they're at, but they lived together, and he met her on a app. And I went, and then so you're laying there, and you're like, I'm not doing anything. I don't feel like going out. Maybe there's a chance for me to just do it here. And I always keep going back to that hope and a prayer, or that Hail Mary pass, because there's people that have met someone online that have succeeded. So you keep thinking, well, maybe this time's the time.
I wonder statistically, though, if you broke that down, you see actually how many people succeeded versus how many people were into something, they got burnt, they got hurt, they got whatever, versus the small percentage that actually knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
It's a great venue to meet people, for that, have that initial intro. And I guess what you do with that is also up to you. You might get 35 people on your phone when you say, you know what?
And I've been guilty of both.
34 of you, I'm going to give a 34 pattern swipe. And I'm just going to talk to you. And you and I are going to talk until we are hot or we're cold.
Yeah.
And then onward. But the temptation, right? You're seeing what's your face and what's his nuts come in and whatnot.
It's timing and alignment. Oh, I'm sorry, please.
That's okay. No, which brings back to the first sentence that I brought here, that it's so easy to meet people, but to meet a person that you actually can value is what, it has become a game to us. And I think everybody is thinking, I can do better. Oh, she's okay, no, next. We're not focusing. You brought that word, that's the correct word. We're not focusing, we're not treasuring people we're meeting. Back in when we were, before the internet, when you met somebody, I don't know about that side of the room, but this side, you could hardly give your number to more than 2 people in a day. You know what I mean? It just didn't flow. It's not something that we did. And so I give this one guy my number and we are talking. I am focusing on this person.
Focus.
Exactly. Now, if there's Tinder and I'm swiping left and there's last night, 3, 10, 45 in a day, we are thinking that I can always do better. I can always do better, and they keep swiping. At the end of the day, because you're not focusing, and with anything you do, whether it's music, whether it's math, whether it's education, anything, if you don't focus, if you don't give it your energy, you are not going to succeed. You're gonna keep swiping.
But I think too, back in the day, before all of these apps and all of this internet, if you met someone, you usually met them doing something that you both enjoyed doing. Whether you're hiking, you're volunteering, you're at the bar, whatever it is that you're doing, you usually met someone. So therefore there was one commonality right there, right? And then you go from there. But now, I mean, even though you put all this stuff in the app and I like badminton and you like this, you have no idea if that's fabricated. You have, like, for example, I've noticed people say, I don't know why everybody's outdoorsy. I know that you are, but I don't know why everybody's outdoorsy. So you have to say, I love hiking. I love this. Really?
Oh.
Don't even take me on a walk because I'm done. I'm not walking. I don't like nature. I'll just rather watch it on the Nature Channel and I'm good, right?
There's something that makes people think, because from this side, it's something that is either given, because what I see, every woman on the app is on a stand-up paddleboard. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is on a stand-up paddleboard.
So right.
And everyone is doing stand-up paddleboard. And I don't know what they think that's doing that is attractive. Like, someone must tell each one of them, stand-up paddleboard's really cool. Or they're on a yoga pose, or they're on a yoga pose on a hike, or they're yoga posing over a dead fish. Like
On the
you know what I mean?
paddleboard.
Like on the paddleboard. Yeah,
on the paddleboard.
I've seen yoga pose on the paddleboard, and you're just like, what happened? And what is the male equivalent that you would see on
Holding a fish.
Yep, hunting,
hunting?
fishing,
Hunting and fishing.
and just like lifting weights, always the hike pose.
Gen-Xer, no
Always
shirt.
oh my goodness, right? Like,
I
come
don't know
on.
anything about that one.
But I think going back, you talked about even meeting people organically, you know, through the church. It's still challenging there too. You'd think that there was some faith or something that united and grounded people, that they would be looking on a more ethical level, I guess you could say. But even then, you said you said that was not quite the case.
No. So the thing is, remember, the people you are meeting on the apps are still the same people on the street.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. So
it's not
we're just
better
meeting,
just because
it's
you met them out there.
No,
It's not.
exactly,
Agreed.
exactly. It's not.
Agreed,
It's not
agreed.
better. As well, I think humanity has evolved to a way where we don't value each other. I was telling Aisha the other day, I met a guy on the street. I was rushing from the plus 15 downtown. I was rushing from one meeting to the other. He looked decent. I was buying coffee, gave him my number. And the following day, we are chatting, we're texting back and forth. And he starts telling me about a book that he's writing.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. We've been chatting for about 20 minutes at this point. And so it was going, we're getting to know each other. We're just talking and all that. And then after about 20 minutes, he tells me about the book he's writing. And then so I said, okay, I didn't know you were a writer. Tell me about it. How does that go? Do you sell your books? Do you sell your stories and stuff like that? And he goes, oh, I actually I'm writing about a guy who is 55 years old and he's conquering the world using his insert word. I can't say it right now. And I'm thinking, what are you talking? Yeah, he's conquering the world by sleeping with as many women as possible. I've given him this name. And what I picked up was that he was very excitable when he started telling me about this book. Yeah. He was it was message after message. They were just coming in. Unlike when we were talking about getting to know each other, messages were flowing and flowing. He wanted me to know so much. Now, I realized he's not telling me about a book. There's no character in a book like this. He's telling me about himself. Yeah. So I went onto my phone and I put the name he gave me. I went online and I inserted that. I searched that name and I went to images. His face came up. Mm-hmm. Wow. So he was actually telling me about himself, about how excited he is about conquering the world by sleeping with many women. Within 20 minutes of conversing with somebody on the street. So it's not about people you're meeting on the apps. It's the same people.
It's the same people. Can I tell you a story?
Yes, please.
So I'm newly divorced, and I've never been in I've never done any sort of online dating. And my assistant at the time comes into my office, says, we had a pretty good relationship. She says, give me your phone. And I said, why? She says, I'm putting Tinder on it. And she goes, everyone in here hates you right now because you're so grumpy. You need to go meet someone. And that was it. So she puts Tinder on my phone, and we start, it goes. And I'm like, it's this easy, because the first girl that I swiped on liked me, and we started chatting. Very, very, very quickly. Now I'm just a wee babe, a naive online dater. But we start chatting and move to the phone really quickly. Now, from the phone, I'm like, wow. Because I mean, she's naked in the first night, sending me naked pictures. And I'm like, I'd love to say that I didn't join in. But
you can't.
But I can't say that. I was like, I found it kind of intoxicating because we were having fun now. So we're going to meet now. It's like 3 weeks, and it's like 3-4 days. We're going to meet. On the day we're going to meet, I get an answer. She's like, oh, my parents just dropped into town. So I'm like, okay, great. We can't do that. So now, text, more and more, pictures, conversation. We're going to meet. Oh, my son fell off the swing and broke his arm. 3 more days, text, pictures. And I'm starting to get a little fed up. I'm like, what's going on here? We're going to meet a 3rd time, and we can't because her dog puked on her white carpet or something. It was one of those. Yeah. So I give her an ultimatum. I'm like, this is nuts. It's 10 days in of this. Like, we meet or no. So we're going to meet. It's Earl's Willow Park. Sunny afternoon, and I show up, and I've got her picture on my phone, and I'll show it to the 4 hostesses that are sitting outside. Is this girl here? I'm on a date with this girl today. It's like my first one, and I'm doing the bit. And they're like, no, and I'm putting my little show on, having fun, talking to the hostesses, and I feel these eyes on me. Like when you could feel someone staring at you. Mm-hmm. And I kind of look over, and there is just a troglodyte of a woman staring at me. And she's kind of giving me this look. And I kind of nod at her, right? And I keep talking to the girls, and I can still feel her looking at me. So I look over at her, and I say, I'm sorry, miss, can I help you? She's like, it's Sarah, your date? Now, the thing I remember most about her are her yellow toenails hanging off her Birkenstocks. Oh, Lord. She had dirty shorts. It wasn't even a person who wasn't like that had grown out of the pictures they were sending me. It was a completely different person. She was sending me pictures of an entirely other human being.
Oh my word.
So I'm standing there like this, looking at her like, bah. Now I've shown the hostesses the picture, and they're all looking at me like, what's he gonna do? And they're like, bah. And I'm looking at them, bah. And they look at her, bah. And then she looks at me, bah. And we're like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So now, here's how I handle this situation. I look at her, and then I turn, and I start walking away, then jogging, and then I fully sprint to my car.
Oh my God.
In the heebie-jeebies, because we have talked.
Ew.
We have.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God. It was embarrassing, but I was just so new to it all, and I didn't know, and I was like going with it, and I think that anytime, I'm trying to bail myself out here from being so naive, but I mean, I just was naive, and I thought we were creating this relationship, we were creating this peace, and what I found out is I was creating this relationship with a completely fictitious person, and that learned me up real quick, like. Yeah.
I think that's a fear of a lot of people is you don't know. People are using filters and changing information and saying they're rocket scientists and stuff like that. Going back to Aisha's original question, at this stage, when I think you've been through the mill, maybe once or twice, I think you know very precisely what you're looking for because you've had everything that you weren't looking for. Yeah. Let me say it like that. So over time, okay, I can deal with this, I can't deal with that. Yep. This is important, this is absolutely a must-have. Sure. These I can work without, right?
Yep.
we meet each other, and I remember as a kid, 20 years old, you're always trying to sell yourself, right? Keep your hair straight, eyebrows, you know what I mean? Always trying to present yourself as better than what you are. Your people who are introducing or trying to do that. It's a sell.
Yep.
But then you get the package.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be different from what was advertised.
Right.
So don't pretend you're something else. I may just love what that very much is, but you try to
But
pretend.
the internet did change that, right? So we do have filters. So, I mean, you can speak to this a little
Women
bit.
filters. I don't know if guys use filters, but
Oh yeah, guys use
absolutely.
filters.
Oh, absolutely.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
I
won't
was
do
just
that.
gonna. I just wanted to ask, because Celeste is newly married, so she has achieved that which we all want to achieve, right?
Congrats.
Woohoo!
Do I want to achieve it? I don't know now.
That's the thing, though, right? That's a question.
Yeah.
I mean, but you do want to achieve some kind of relationship where you're authentic with each other.
Yeah.
And so my question to you is like, how did you know? How did you think to wait? Because I think the challenge is waiting that long in terms of like sifting out the people that you don't want. And many people settle. I've seen many people settle. Well, it's okay if he's this, and it's okay if she's that, and it's okay. But I know for a fact that you waited and you got an amazing person. So what was that journey like? And I don't think you did any apps. You did everything organically or through people.
I mean, I was fortunate enough to be set up through friends or met people just being out, and I had friends that would, hey, come on over here, and so I'd meet people through people, and I went through it. I felt discouraged, and going on these, even people that you've met, and just in person, and going on dates, and just feeling like, is there anybody out there for me? Like, crying and thinking, is this all there is? Discouraged. And, you, like you said, you're talking to somebody and then you go on a date and it's not what you expected. Right. And you go home and you're like upset. And just talking to my sister and saying, is there anyone out there for me?
Yeah.
But this one, my husband now, I was set up through a girlfriend, and they set both of us up, and immediately there was just a connection. Like, I just felt this draw to this person, and it was I just kind of like wanted to hold his hand, and did not feel that throughout all these other dating experiences.
That's great.
But it also got me to where I was, because those experiences that I had, and maybe one or two, I felt like, this guy, this is the guy for me. Oh, he's so great, he's so nice. And then he wouldn't text me back right away, or, I'm busy. And the one thing that I did realize is that nobody is too busy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody has their phone
You got it.
sitting there
You got it.
beside them.
You make a choice not to answer.
100
You make a choice.
even if they're in a meeting, you check your phone after the meeting, and you could, I'm really sorry, I'll get back to you if you want to.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you recognize that somebody isn't there for you, and you're able
Really good
to
point.
move forward and move on to the next relationship.
The focus that we talk about here, you're never going to find the perfect person now. To go to Cam's point, I have all the things I can't live with, I have all the things I can't live without, and I have all my little peccadillos in the middle. If you take age and people that are single, there's only a few left. You're going to have to make compromises. You're going to have to, but you have to want to give enough or give a care enough to make the compromise. Because I know that your husband's wonderful and he's your person and you're happy, but there has to be a couple of things that you go, that's an easy thing to overlook. Or, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm going like, not to say that it's, as long as it doesn't go in the face of your morals or your values, you're going to have to make a couple little compromises, because you can get real damn picky.
I was just going to say the key is when the relationship is easy and you're not constantly trying to make this person
Right.
like
There you
you
go.
or love you or whatever.
And it flows.
And it flows. That's how you know where you're headed in the right direction.
The best thing that I've read and I've been using, this is a while now, is I spend less time worrying about if they like me and more time worrying about if I like myself when I'm with them.
Yeah.
And when you can change the context and at that moment, you just go, it's like gives you this mandate. Now you can just check everything against that. Oh, they're making me feel uncomfortable because they're not talking to me and going. So I feel like I'm getting breadcrumbed. I feel like I'm getting pushed over. And you're like, I don't need to. And especially if you meet them, you don't have that real flow with them.
Connection, yeah.
Yeah.
The magic of getting into a relationship is like they have the core of what you're looking for, but they have other things that you may learn from, you may enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I maybe someone may introduce me to nature an aspect of nature that I may really, really like. But right now I'm saying no. But I can't say, oh gosh, you're a nature buff. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Rather, if he has a sense of humor and he's kind and you know, I have faith, so I want someone to also know that there's a higher power over everything. If he's got those things, all the other stuff, let's see if we can work through it. Let's see if
you could go for a
stuff.
walk once in a
Let's go.
while.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you've got all that stuff, like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or
yeah.
you can do those.
Like go into the
There's a
forest once in a
compromise.
while
Yeah,
and
yeah,
go do
yeah.
that kind of stuff. But you got to have that compromise. You can't say that I don't like these things about you and I would never do that. I think that is absolutely immature. And I think that it's not just the 30-year-olds, it's spilling over into our age group, you know, like you just can't have that.
But there are certain circumstances, like if I'm texting with someone and she's in every weekend in the mountain skier, I did that for 2 years and I know it doesn't work for me. And if they want me to be there with them I can't do that. It's not going to fly. Like there's got to be moments in there. I guess, I mean, at that time, that person was the person who I thought was my person. We were together years, right? But like I found that very, very difficult. And the second that we got it, I add that to the list of cannot deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aisha is my friend. She will tell you this one, Chico does not like this. And there's not going to be a time when I'm going to bend and do it, you know? So a person who does not know who they are, that's a deal breaker for me. You have to know. And if tomorrow you do the same thing that you said you didn't like last week, no, sir, it's been good.
Yeah.
And that's concerning at our age when you don't know who you are, I guess.
But
you
you'll
should
be
have gone to the
surprised
ring.
how
You're not
many
20 or
people
something
don't.
like that, or in
Yeah.
your teens.
Yeah.
Like we said, we've all been through the ringer here, so you kind of know who you yourself are, right?
You'd be shocked how many people actually still don't.
Well,
in their
it's maybe
40s.
not that they don't know,
Yeah.
but maybe their attachment style is insecure because I spent a relationship with an insecure attachment, and I chameleoned myself to please the person I was with, and kind of lost myself in there. And I can see how it became unattractive to her when I thought that I was trying to do everything to make her happy, and I could see that how that would become unattractive because there was just I had the vulnerability, I had all these pieces I felt, but I didn't have the authenticity to just be me. And that was the biggest lesson. Oh, it's not to say that I'm embarrassed of who I am. It's just that I wanted her to like me so badly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know very well what you mean. I've got a short little snippet here. This is 20 years ago or so. It was kind of a setup, like you were saying, and I'm very organic. I don't believe in apps or the phone or something like that. I feel like I just walk up to somebody at this point. I think after my time on the earth, I have no inhibitions. I got no blinders. I feel I can do that just out of where I'm at here. However, 25 years ago, I went to a wedding and somebody contacted me after the wedding saying, hey, what's her face really liked you? I couldn't really remember, kind of I did. I'm like, oh, really? They're like, can we give you your number? I'm like, sure, go for that. Let's do that. Felt all excited, felt, hey man, this is huge. A girl asked for my number. I'm not asking for their number. This is strong. I'm in this, good. So going to write what you said. So I got this phone number in my hand. I'm like, I'm gonna call her. So I've had the phone number. I'm like, I gotta call. How am I gonna do this? How do I wanna sound? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll call her Beth. Hey, Beth.
Yeah, in character.
Hey, man.
How you doing? I got your number from such and such and think you should give me a call. Me not being technologically adept, I didn't hear a beep or nothing. It just cut me off. And I'm like, I was leaving a wicked message. Okay. I hang up. I go, I think I was a little strong on that one. I'm going to come about this a little differently.
You called her back?
You bet I did because it cut me off. No, it didn't even save it.
Oh, it didn't. Okay,
I didn't
good.
hear a beep or a thank you for your message or not.
Yeah.
So I fired one. I didn't hear any response from me, from the phone saying that, yeah, thanks for your, nothing. I'm like, that's it? It washed away? But I said, that's okay, because I have a redo.
That's right.
So I go back in there. I'm changing the vibe here. Hey, man. Now I'm Tony Montana, okay? So I give her that spiel. And I'm like, you know what? And then again, beep, no nothing. I'm like, damn,
You called her
Mitch.
again?
Again.
Oh, I love
Again. I'm like, I hate this. I hate this. But no, I think this gives me a chance to redo this. That was a little bit heavy on the Montana side.
Is this number 7 or 8?
Now, I don't know. I'm in the 5th time I'm leaving a message. You know,
right.
now I'm just to hold everyone. Like, I'm going to go timid on that. Hey, man, thanks for liking me. And I appreciate your phone call. Beep. Again, nothing. I'm like, oh my God, I've done six of these. I give up. I give up. This is not meant to be. I am just going to wait a couple days and call her when she can actually pick up a phone. And I don't know what cam she's going to get.
Yeah.
A couple days later, I got a call. She's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, whoa, man, it worked. I go, did you get my message? She goes, yeah, I got all 7 of them.
Oh my goodness.
All 7? Oh my God. So each one of those recorded, but in my head, I didn't think they were, so
Oh my goodness.
I got a Mexican accent in one. Next time I'm Sean Connery talking to her. You know, Alcatraz was a fork. And she says, I go, oh my God. So what you're saying, I'm trying to sell myself. What do I want to sell? To hell with it all. That was the last time. I
that's
did
great.
that.
I would imagine, yes.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
That's a bit creepy.
if I get cut short on a message, I don't re-record. There's no redos. There's no redos in that. Chico, it's the truth, man. Can you imagine when she called me? And I was like, yes, she called me.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm like, which one went through?
Sean Connery.
Yes.
Leave your number.
Like, so? What do you think? She was like, huh.
But you can't forget that there is an element of selling yourself. Like, this is the first initial contact with somebody is the attraction, right? Like, you want to, like, you want to look all good,
Yeah, I
you want to
believe
smell
that.
good. There's got to be a little element of that.
this
You
whole
can't
thing
just
about making
walk
the
in.
first impression?
Maybe not 6 phone calls in, but you
Yeah.
do want to make sure that you rehearsed it in your head and like, hello, da-da-ba-da. You want to actually put your best foot forward, right? I think
Yeah.
that there is an element of that at any age, but the difference is, like Celeste said, know who you are as a person, know your substance, and then when that person comes back and if they're rude or there's like major red flags, then you can recognize that and step back rather than going, I'm going to compensate for that, or I'm going to go, it's okay, don't worry about it, or I'm going to change myself, which is even the worst thing you could do is change who you are to
that's the
accommodate
one.
someone else completely.
I think at this
Yeah.
point, for me, like I don't want to trick someone into being my partner by telling them what they want to hear or maybe about me that they wouldn't like. This is everything, good, bad. This is me, man.
Yep, take it or leave it.
You like me like this? We just
You like me with this
You like me
accent,
like this, man? I speak however you want me to, man. You know, but if
like this one,
this is
baby?
what I am. This is what I am.
Yeah.
No fabrication, no nothing. This is my goods. This is my bads.
So then,
And if you accept me right now, holy, we're rolling.
yeah. So
We're
then, what
rolling.
are your red flags then? Because she mentions red flags. So what are some red flags that you'll look at either on? You don't do online.
I don't.
No.
I
But then,
stay away.
do you have red flags? Do you have things?
I hope so. That would mean you have standards, right?
Yeah. Few red flags. I'm willing to work with anything. You know what I mean?
She's got a pulse, all right, baby.
You know, some things you don't even think about, oh my God, that's a red flag or whatnot. I don't know why, but I am so organic. I just want to feel that chemistry. I feel truly that chemistry can overcome a lot of things. Like, hey, I was bothered by that, but holy crap, I love you so much that I didn't even think that I could feel like this. So that part can go away. I think at our stage, everybody's got some history.
Yeah.
Right? I think people's history that comes in. If you're being, I have 2 children. I have to now calculate that. It's not just about me. If I partner up with person X, these points may not bother me per se, but how are they going to affect my children now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does that? So now there's other moving parts, right? So that the must-haves, I think, maybe expand a little bit, Josh, like that, because now you've got, if your children are of that age, right?
Yeah.
My children are 12 and 15, right? So how do you bring that into another package? And that other package now is important to me, how that's formed, I guess. And that's some of the must-haves. Like, geez, how do I explain this to my kids? You
So
know
at
I
what
mean?
point do you decide to introduce person A to your kids? At what point do you think that's a viable?
That's an excellent question. I know there's people who, within a week, want you to go and meet their children.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this is Cam. This was Cam that you're meeting today, right?
Yeah.
I think you're bringing kids into that, especially mine. I don't want to bring them into that until I believe, man, I'm way down the road. I'm certain on the person. I'm pretty 80%, I'll say. I'll use that number of 80%. I'm solid on the person. Now I want to see how that 20% and the rest of that person's world comes into my world. Because that could be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
What if your kids hate that other person, right?
And is there a time frame? Like, you've been dating for a year, or is it like a gut feeling, or what?
I would say more feeling than a time frame.
Feeling.
So in 7 years, my daughter's met 2 women that I've dated over those times. And then, the next time she meets someone, I'll have to be pretty close to being like, we're going to move in, we're going to get married, we're going to do something, because this is embarrassing, but because I tell her like, oh, daddy's dating someone. Oh, what's this one, number 37? So I don't play that game anymore with her. Like oh yeah, and I'm going out with, Aaron, what's this one, 42? It's kind of a bit. So like my daughter, she hasn't met a woman I dated in over 3 years, and I wouldn't do it unless we were like all the way in and rock solid.
Josh, you know there's parents who just immediately
Oh
bring
yeah,
somebody,
because
"Hey, I'm
it's
dating this
convenient
person."
though, because they
Yes.
do it out of convenience so that they can have theirs, so that they can fulfill their relationship, and then they bring the families together. But and sometimes it works. I mean, gosh, I'm not saying it doesn't, and I don't want to judge anyone on that piece, but I mean, in the same breath, I've learned a lesson, and I don't want to go past
And
that.
what's your guys' thought on that?
I have always let my children meet my friends who are male. I have not. I've been single forever, 10 years, and my kids have not met a boyfriend that mom is dating in 10 years. But every male friend, even someone who's asking me out, they are going to meet them maybe for some reason. My son does music. Somebody wants to come. They're asking me out, or maybe we've gone on a few dates. They want to go and watch my son perform. We'll go together, just introduce, this is my friend, whatever his name is, and like that, just as a friend. Because I don't want them to kind of, for lack of a better word, I don't want them to freak out when I introduce somebody as my person. So they have always met, or like on a neutral ground, mom is talking to this person, or this is mom's friend. Never, ever.
And behind their back, they're like,
yeah. Now that they've grown, though, there's like,
well, yeah, of course. Yeah, you can't pull the wool over as easy as
How old
that.
are they?
My kids?
Yeah.
My son's 20, my daughter is 17.
Oh, yeah.
You see, so that's a different age class.
Yeah,
That's a
so when
different
they were
age class.
younger, that's when I would do. Right now, since my son was 18, I haven't really ever introduced them to anybody that a relationship would potentially go that way. But then I'm not dating. I have not dated anybody forever, so it hasn't happened.
And you, Celeste?
Well, my ex-husband and I came to an agreement to put it into our divorce contract. And so we stipulated a certain time amount that you were able to introduce somebody. I think you've got 2 different people, and maybe somebody would have introduced in a week, and maybe one would have been 6 months. So we kind of just came up with a timeline, and we stuck with that.
Well, I think that gives you enough time to make a decision, and they can't do anything rash. You both feel like you have control, because they're meeting, like it's your kids as well, meeting a stranger.
Absolutely.
And you have to meet the other person's significant other. Like I wanted to, you're going to want to meet the person, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be there.
And would you guys say that the qualifications of this person, I think we all have kids, the qualifications change depending on how old your kids are? So my kids are older,
I think so.
qualifications are different,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
But if your kids are younger, like yourself,
Mine are
And-
12 and 15 and
Yeah.
very impressionable. And I'm very cautious now that I'm divorced. How do my children see me and how I go through this process? Am I firing through names and people that are
Yep.
strangers in my house all the time? My kids see that. They may not say that. So I take responsibility for
Yeah.
that. And I don't want them to think that that's okay.
And
Well,
putting
they're watching
teenagers in.
you.
Oh, sorry. Ahead.
And they're watching you.
They're watching
They're
you.
watching
They
you.
do.
So dad's
And
single
you
now,
do
so what's he doing?
What's he, and
Dad's
who's
always on
this
his phone
person?
swiping stuff and his phone's always ringing and strangers are showing up. No, no. I
And
don't want
leaving
that.
it the wee hours of the morning.
The walk of shame. No, but that's the truth though, right?
yeah.
You
And they
don't-
also become attached. So they've lost a parent already, and now every spouse or person you bring into their life, there's that possibility of them being abandoned again.
Imagine that cycle repeating 4 or 5
Exactly.
times, and the 4 or 5 people
It's
that
not
you date
fair.
in a couple of years, if that's
Yeah.
what you do,
not
but they're seeing a new person come in, hang out with you, and be all parental-like, right?
Yeah,
so this kid's
'cause there's
watching,
that
like, hey,
too.
this is pretend mom-ish, right? And then that person's gone, and then you bring in another person.
Yeah.
Who's this? Same thing. Let's go through the same cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am very wary of that.
Yeah.
And maybe too much that I respect 100% what you're saying. There's more eyes on the situation
Yeah.
versus when we were just 20 and first time out and single and you're making a decision for yourself. In a
Everything
lot of
was
cases,
easier
if
because
your
you
kids are-
didn't have the list of everything. You're like, hey, she's got a nice butt, and then she looked at you and went, you got nice arms, and then you dated for 3 years and maybe got married.
And that was the whole list
And
that
that
I
was the
had.
list.
That was the list.
You're like, oh, shit, I need a nice. I need this. And now you're gonna like now it's difficult. I mean I don't
Yeah.
need to tell all of you that it's difficult. But my daughter was happy. I'll tell you a hard moment for me. The last time that she met someone, that's over 3 years ago. But this is the hardest thing, maybe one of the hardest things she's ever said to me. When we split up, I pulled her aside and said, we're no longer together. And she's like, that's great. Because you were different when you were around her.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, this was with your what? With your ex-wife?
My ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
So we met when my daughter was about 8, and when we split, she was about 11, and she said that, and I wore that one, and that put me in like that was. There's
boy.
a whole topic with the therapist after that kind of thing to think about, and that was where I started going into that. Learning about attachment styles and finding out that I had an anxious attachment style that was leading me to chameleon myself into what they wanted. And yeah, you wear that one for a bit. That one stung.
Yep.
And that doesn't scare me from introducing her to someone, but it allows me to know that I will show up in a way different way for whoever she does meet in the future. Yeah, that was my learning lesson there.
That's very important.
It's really hard when you have kids. Like, when do you introduce? How is this person going to interact? Even I think, like, I have older kids. My kids are 21, 20, and 18. And
Wouldn't you be a little bit more sure?
after a while, they just start, you're number 1, number 2, number 3. That's how we're going to call you. But, I still want the person to respect my kids.
Yeah.
Right? And to treat me with respect again, because your kids are always watching this relationship. However you guys are interacting, in my opinion, the kids see everything.
Yep.
And they hear everything. You think they don't? They know it all. They know what you're on your phone. I don't even know how they open this stuff. They're like, oh, that's your secret folder. Oh, that's and it's really amazing how they can track everything that you're doing, and you think you're super sneaky and you think you're so smart, but really they actually know everything that's going on in your life. Somehow they figure it out.
Just like you as their mom know that everything in theirs, and they think that they have secrets from you, and you're like, I know what's happening here. I know you're sneaking out of your room. I know that you're having drinks in the and they know, and as long as you guys have an agreement that you're not going to call each other on it, then that's the way you got to go,
Well, I mean, that last part I disagree with. You know what I mean? I am going to call you on it. That's my job. But I think that it definitely changes when you have younger kids versus older kids and how you go about dating, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, in the end, after all of this, like, what do you got? What would be your one big piece of advice for those who are just tired of waiting, tired of thinking that there is nobody out there, that I'm just going to die alone, and maybe I should have just stuck around with the person that was, subpar, not that they were subpar, but the fact that we were just not happy. So what advice would you give to people watching who are just going through the challenges that we've all gone through?
Change that attitude. Because if you go in with that attitude, that's the fetus piece, and that's the jaded piece. You got to come out with and be a little bit more. You got to go in open-hearted every single time. You got to be able to, I don't want to say it's cliche, but you got to be able to get back on the horse, and you have to do it without that something pulling you back down. Like you got to go in free every single time and shake it off like it's the first time again. Because if you continuously let it wear you down, that's what, you might as well not go out, because potential suitors can smell that on you. Just like they can smell, like you can smell someone who's like the psychos, you can smell the red flag pieces, like the ones that are not trustful. Like they all have a certain nuance to them, and you can start to pick up on it. Yeah. And if you got to go in fresh every single time with fresh eyes.
I think to answer your question, you said some people, they're hopeless and are we destined to be single? I think for some people, yes. Yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, I think some people, you unresolved issues. And if we just keep going back to the stone and trying again, those issues keep coming back. You haven't fixed those. That's why XYZ relationship failed. But now you're back there without changing that within yourself, right?
Yeah.
But you just came right back to the show, and you think, well, maybe somebody else will accept it. So it was for some folk, until you resolve those issues, it's very hard to move forward in another healthy relationship. You see a cycle start to develop with some people, right?
Yeah.
There's reasons why.
Cycle with myself now.
Am
I the problem? Maybe I just figured it out. I'm the problem.
We've done something here.
In every failure, I
Yeah.
think there is some responsibility.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
If it's never
right?
been your fault, then we know exactly where the fault
There's
lies.
a lot of things I do different now when I talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't let my jerky self get in the way. I really try to be conscious of that and try to, okay, Cam, don't be
But
like
if you're
that, or don't be
authentically a
like that.
jerk, shouldn't you be?
You're 100%
Yeah.
right. Man,
You're
you're
a
100%
narcissist,
right,
though, because
though.
you don't even recognize that, right? What's your thought?
Hey!
Really, we're high-fiving.
That was pretty good.
I'm glad I could express myself in this
Celeste,
forum.
what's your thoughts on, what is it?
I think when you immediately get divorced, that people, they want to heal, get over it, like go on a date, but I think you really need to take some time to heal. And make sure you're in a good place. And then when you are in a good place and you're happy, then somebody is there to add to your life rather than make your life.
Be your life.
Because you've got your life. You start to find things you enjoy and maybe recreate yourself or find yourself again after, because it's traumatic.
But
Divorce is traumatic.
But people in it can't see that. And I think it's only people that have dated people fresh out of divorce. They can't. You're like, you shouldn't be out here doing this. You're like, no, I'm fine. I've been out of that relationship for the last 5 years. I mean, I've been mentally checked out. Like, that's something you hear all the time.
Yes.
But in the same breath, you're like, that doesn't matter. You're still going to go through some, and you're going to hurt. And there are things that you don't know are coming. And you're like, you want to believe that you're okay, but you're not right. You're not wrong, but sorry, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. But people would never until you can't see the forest for the trees in that moment. Like when you're coming out of it, you want to feel good again. I want to feel connection again. I want to feel love. I want to feel sex. I want to feel whatever, these things. And so you go to that baser instinct, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You need some time.
What about you, Chico? What's your thoughts?
I think that we have different gifts. God gives us different things, different gifts, and some people may never find love. Some people may never be rich. Some people may never be peaceful. There are things that some people are never going to get. And I don't want anybody to ever feel that just because they've been divorced or they've had too many failed relationships, that something is wrong with them. So much goes on. I'm going to stab onto your point that on unresolved issues. Some people actually, I think that they're just unfortunate Not necessarily that they've got issues, that's why relationships are not working. Not to trash your point, that is true. Some people are struggling because of unresolved issues. But for some people, maybe it's just not happening for them for whatever reason the universe has given for them. My advice, oh bloody, oh blada, life goes on. Exactly. Exactly. Do what you like, do what you enjoy. You travel, honey, do that. You want to paint something, buy furniture, reclaim it, whatever makes, keep living your life.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
I think we all agree that dating has its own advantages and challenges, especially when you're in your 40s. May it be trying to date online or organically, it doesn't matter. It's all the same challenge. I am so grateful for the different perspectives everyone here brought and offered. It was really amazing to hear you all. One of the biggest things that I took away from all of this is that you have to know who you are inside before you can go out and date. You have to know your values. You have to know the foundation upon which you stand. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll catch you here again on another episode of the Gen Xperience with Aisha.
So I try to go in wide-eyed every single time and handle it that way. And that seems to be, and sometimes you get burned, but if I get burned, no big deal. Did we break up?
I guess you guys broke up, so how was that working for you? But I'm amazed that, seriously, you thought nobody was going to notice? What are you even thinking? It's like, everybody's like looking at you walking away.
I was going to cut the commercial. Just going to go right after these messages. Yeah. My bladder was blowing up, man. I had a good one going there. I was trying to signal our producer. I was trying to send you hand signals like
that,
the number one.
the PP signal?
Yeah. I was looking at it. It's like, what do I do? Okay.
Okay.
I know everything gonna be alright.